Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Appreciate you stopping by. In today's video, we're going to be pivoting back to some sound effects that we really need to build out as a result from our recent internal playtesting that we launched a couple weeks ago. What's been really cool is seeing how the players have identified what are the most fun and enjoyable aspects of the game and how we can build on top of that foundation, and really also help us identify what are some of the areas of improvement and ultimately what would make the game flow with even more cohesion. And so as the audio guy on our team, it's been really eye-opening in particular in terms of where certain parts of the game need some specific sound effects. And what our playtesters have really helped us recognize, I think, is a few instances within the current state of the game where the visuals and animation are amazing and spectacular, but there's no audio cue. There's no sound effect that drives home what we're trying to convey to our players. And it's exactly why playtesting is so impactful for your game, because I'm going to do my very best to try and understand which particular parts of the game really do need sound effects, but I'm always going to have blind spots. And so that's when it's really valuable to have players come in and actually communicate, hey, you know, a sound effect would be nice here, there, etc. Thomas Brush, who is an indie game developer, has a big YouTube channel that our team really enjoys following his content. He recently released a video emphasizing the importance of audio and how audio is directly connected to visuals, and the way to maybe think about it is the goal of audio is to make it feel like it looks. And within game development, you want to try and use all of the senses that you can, eyes and ears, to convey your story and really create an environment for immersion. So the one we're going to be focusing on for today is the 10 seconds leading up to the dawn phase, where that's most likely going to be the most chaos within the vampire waves that you're encountering. And right now we have a great visual shader that indicates when the sun is rising within the game, when the vampires are all going to burn. And some of our players did get that visual cue and some didn't initially, and maybe it took a couple tries to actually see that. One of the things I think I can do to help drive forward that cue is create some audio around that 10-second period, where it isn't incredibly obvious and in your face, because we definitely don't want that, but it does give enough subtle direction as to when the phase is about to end. And that's the exact balance that we want to strike with this particular part of the game. So let's start thinking about what are some different ambient sounds and textures that we can use to try and marry the audio with the visual. And the first thing I'm thinking about is what are some animals or creatures that would most likely be within our environment? Because we know our environment is a Western cowboy abandoned town. We know it's infected by vampires. So a couple of things that come to mind would be introducing a rooster to indicate that the sun is rising. We can use some crow calls as well, and we can use some sort of church bell to indicate that the phase is almost over.
Maybe the sound of this church bell will bring those poor people some comfort.
So we got a couple of these sounds loaded up in FL Studio. For the rooster, this is what I found as just a basic sample on Splice. And by itself with no effects, it's pretty dry and really front and center in your face. So we definitely want to push that back because we want this to be more of an ambient environment texture. So one of the things you can use to do that is, of course, reverb. So if we apply a little bit here, this is what we now get. Yeah, that's what we want. Same concept goes for the crow effect that we want to apply. So I just pitched this down a little bit here, but this is what it sounds on its own. And again, we can add some reverb to push this back in the space. Another thing we can do, which Thomas Brush mentioned in his video, is you can use delay to create this in the background echo effect. So we're going to use reverb and delay for this one, and this is what it sounds like. In terms of the timing and ordering of this effect, I think we want the rooster to be the first thing that kicks off. So that fires off the 10-second sound effect. Then the crow comes in, and then the church bells start to chime within the last 5 seconds. Here are the church bells with the added reverb. And originally I had 5 church bells for the remaining 5 seconds, but I think that's just too much. It's going to be too muddy. So now I have it on the 5 count, the 3, and the 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, round over. Last 2 things I added was some lightning just to create a little bit of a darker texture. And then added some very distant bats flying away to try and escape the sunrise. And here's the whole sound put behind the visuals. I really like how that's working. Marries nicely with the visual shader cue that we have right now, and the sound isn't so in your face front and center to the point where it distracts you from the gameplay, but it is subtle enough to give the player an audio cue that the round is nearly over, so they just need to hold on for a little bit longer. And that is all we had time for today, folks. As always, feel free to hit that like, subscribe button if you want to stay updated on the latest and greatest content of All Studios and Dracs After Dusk. And if there's any particular content that you want to see moving forward, feel free to drop that in the comment section. Always happy to drop a video that's going to be helpful for any indie game devs out there or anyone working within the sound and audio in the video game world. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you on the next video.